What's bubbling, magical people? Welcome back to the Witching Hour with Miss Merlin, where we like to talk about all things witchy and magical. Your one-stop source for everything spellcasting, ascension, healing, tarot, mediumship, deities, astrology, psychic gifts, healing, nature, plant medicine, and much, much more. I'm Kimmy, aka Miss Merlin, High Priestess and Shamaness, Medicine Woman, Vulva, Psychic Medium, and witch extraordinaire. So let's jump on in. Mel is back. Hello, beautiful Mel.
Hello, hello, hello.
I hope you are doing well today.
Yes, yes. There's been a couple of hiccups, but yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Gotta learn to roll with the punches, right?
Right? Yeah. So we're having a little bit, we were having a little bit of technical issues, delays today. Okay. So if you've been kind of experiencing a little bit of that lately, a little bit of stagnation, I know that that's been going on collectively. So yeah, we're going to kind of talk about that today. A little bit of astrology and what the F's happening right now.
Yeah, that's it seems to be the running theme is what in the world is happening?
Yes, yes. Well, I know that we had some big solar flares the other day, and the Schumann resonance was off the charts. And a lot of people were saying that there's been a timeline shift, actually a couple. So you could be feeling and experiencing just this like limbo. Like, what is going on? Like, Mel and I were discussing the other day, like, I don't know what day it is. Like, all the time for no reason. Like, what is happening? And we think that that's kind of what's happening.
Yeah, I think so. I think that there are a lot of timelines that are kind of merging into this current one, I guess. And I think it's the whole thing where time is an illusion kind of thing. So since we have different timelines, I think they're kind of all merging into this more ascended one because of all the shifting going on with the planets and collectively and just the times that we're living in.
Yeah, yeah. And like, there's a lot of stuff going on astrologically. So we were going to talk about that, but we're both feeling kind of scattered, like usually we're a little bit more up on this.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of winging it today, having a fly by the seat of our pants conversation with, kind of what comes up, what was channeled from spirit and what we do know. But yeah, just that feeling of like, I really don't know what's happening, even though like I know what's happening, but I don't know what's happening. Does that make sense? Oh my God.
It's a weird kind of, it's not even limbo. It's like, there's things happening, but you can't put your finger on it.
You know how I feel? I feel like I'm about to start a race, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm down on the ground with my one foot forward, and my hands on the track, ready to go. And I'm waiting for that whistle. So my body feels like it's like rocking back and forth, like ready to go. What's coming? But I don't know where I'm racing forward to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with what's going on with Mars, right? Because Mars is a really kind of angry energy. It's masculine, it's action, it's fast. And it went in retrograde. It began in Leo. In the sign of Leo in December, and it's ending February 23rd. So we're already feeling the settling down of that energy already. And it's ending in the sign of Cancer. So in an emotional sign, it does not like to be there.
Right.
So that could be why we're feeling so uncomfortable and like, what is this?
Yeah. It's true, Cancer being such a nurturing sign. It's home, family. It doesn't like to be in a place like Mars. No, it's, there's a lot of disruption going on with the family unit, whoever you consider family. It doesn't have to be your immediate family. It can be family that you've created yourself, not blood related, or it depends on who I guess your inner circle is. And I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine about the fact that we are now experiencing this shift in not worrying, but how it was so important for us to connect to a lot of different people. But now it seems like our inner circle, our inner sanctum, whoever we consider close to us, are the only people that really seem to matter. I don't want to say it like that, really seem to matter, but it's like a priority to just connect with the people who's closest to you, who you feel closest to, versus everybody else that we were so concerned with connecting with. Like, it's just not there anymore.
I've noticed that too. Like, I don't care to be online. I just don't want to engage in the energy. Like, I'm not scrolling like I was. And I'm just the same. Like, it's not that, outside energy isn't important. It's just I'm really being very super protective of mine.
Yeah.
Who I'm
selective,
exchanging
protective. Yeah, it's true.
Kind of a little bit into hibernation, almost that winter. I feel like that, I'm like a bear in a cave.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's like we have this inner protection going on with, we're really selective and very careful with whom we're sharing energy with. And that's really smart to do anyway, but it seems like it's vital right now.
Yeah, Spirit's really pushing it. But you know what I noticed too? And looking at the dates of that Mars retrograde, because Mars is that almost toxic masculine energy when it's taken to that place, because it's war and action, and it's very fiery. And it started retrograde in Leo. So the shadow side of Leo is that overinflated ego, right? December 6th of 2024. So let's just look at what's been going on in the world regarding toxic masculine and war type energy since December 6th of 2024.
Yeah, and even before that. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's there's a lot of charged energy out there, and I think that our spirit guides, and even subconsciously speaking, we are ready to go to battle. We're ready to wage war, and so I think we're being called to just kind of be to ourselves, or to the people who we feel are safe, who we know are our people, because if we don't, I think that we're just going to wage war on everybody. So I think we have to be really careful, and I think this is why we're being called to kind of be within our own little bubble of our inner circle. And that's where the focus needs to be, because I think too many outside energies, too many external factors are going to create war within ourselves and with other people that we don't really mean to do that with, but it's going to happen because it's just so volatile.
Yeah, and you know what's coming to mind right now? There's an old Indian proverb. So right before something good happens, something bad will come in to try to destroy it. Right? So very important to be keeping to ourselves right now. Something that's popping in my mind right now that I spoke of briefly on my TikTok the other day, and I know a lot of people have been talking about it, is the anglerfish. Because they've never caught that before when it's risen to the surface like that. And it's actually really sad why she rose. Because she's either sick or dying.
Right.
And then once her body starts to rise like that, the gases and things that happen, they can't take it. So even if there is like a way for her to heal, it's too late. Like she's already, but I talked about in my brief video the other day what it says, okay? Because we have that Mars energy happening right now that is that toxic masculine, and we're seeing it playing out with the, I'm going to take over this and
Right.
All that, rah, 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 don't touch my thermostat type of energy.
Right.
But the anglerfish represents the opposite of that, right? So that's patriarchy, right? Because they're trying to take away women's rights. They're trying to take away everybody's rights. It's all about control, right?
Right.
The anglerfish represents matriarchy because, as I spoke of briefly in that video, the dynamic between the two, the male anglerfish is only like 3 centimeters long, and he has to find a female or he dies. He attaches to her like a little parasite, and he takes nutrients from her, and he just wastes away his gills and his little fins, everything, until he's essentially a pair of balls pumping semen into the female when she needs to reproduce, right?
Right.
So that's a matriarchal type of system there, right? You think about it. And that's dark feminine energy because they're down in the depths, right? She has her own light. I love that about the anglerfish. Doesn't matter how deep in the depths she is, she always produces her own light. I love it. But it just shows me, right? Because that's matriarchal society. We have the rise of a patriarchal control society here, right? That dark feminine rising up, death, sad, but I feel like that's like that rebirth energy, right? Death to that, right? So death to the patriarchy, death to the matriarchy, because we want balance. Right? And it also shows me too that feminine energy, and that's not about gender, okay? Everybody has feminine and masculine energy, but that feminine energy, for a lot of people who have been doing inner work, has been down in the depths and in the shadows, doing a lot of work for a long time.
Right.
And that rise up is like that, finding that balance,
Right.
I'm not staying in the shadows, but I'm also not all love and light either, like,
Right.
It's a balance. It's really beautiful. I feel that like Lilith type energy.
Right. Yeah. It's true. And now with the nodes shift, that's shifted to Virgo Pisces, you're going to see a lot more of that feminine energy in the spiritual sense,
Dreamy,
where we're going to be,
romantic,
tapping more into our intuition and dreaming and, using our creativity and imagination. And we're just going to tap into that more individually and as a collective, especially with Pisces being in so many planets right now. I mean, it's Sun Pisces, it's Neptune, it's Saturn, there's one more. I can't remember. But anyway, there's a lot of planets in Pisces and the nodes in Pisces. So we're shifting
a lot of emotion.
A material or 3D related to more of a spiritual,
but that's
something
what I'm saying.
bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, we're shifting from a masculine energy, right?
Yeah.
From those lower chakras into a more feminine energy, into the heart space and intuition.
Right.
And this is interesting too because Venus is going retrograde March 1st. March 1st to April 6th. So this is going to bring up things that have to do with relationships, right? Not just romantic. And we also have a Mercury retrograde kind of piggybacking on top of that. So be prepared for that, guys. Mel and I were already saying like we were noticing some technical stuff. So we're already kind of in the pre-shadow period for it. It doesn't officially start until March 15th and it goes till April 7th. And then of course there's a post-shadow after that for about 2.5-ish weeks. I find the pre-shadow and post-shadow a little worse than the actual.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, for sure. And something else I was being reminded of when I was looking at the aspects going on in the sky is that Chiron is still in Aries, and now Venus is in Aries, and so your wounds having to do with relationships are
Yeah.
going to play out right now
Yeah.
at this time, especially when the retrograde hits Venus. It's going to be about who am I really at the core, and what kind of role do I play in relationship, whether it's to yourself or with other people. So we're going to really be, we can be anyway, if you tap into the energy and you work with it because it's available. We're going to be more bold as far as relationships are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we may do things hastily because Aries is a very kind of go and take charge and then think later.
Mm-hmm.
Act now, think later is Aries. So I think a lot of us have that potential to do that in relationship with other people when we figure out what it is we want.
Right. And I already think the energies of that are already present because you were already talking about the very beginning, right? How just intuitively feeling that need to really be paying attention to who am I exchanging my energy with?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I noticed too that like a lot of that stuff's already been happening because I think a lot of us who are doing the internal work on ourselves, right? I think Spirit's really been pushing us going into the spring to really be looking at all this, the last layers of things. Because once we think we've healed something, it's like another layer comes and you're like, oh my God, really?
Didn't I do something about this already? Didn't I hear from this already? Yes.
Oh my God. Like, I know this pattern. I know it. Why is it still here? You know, but there's always something more to it. You're not doing anything wrong. I just want to point that out, guys. Okay. You're not doing anything wrong. Go easy on yourself. Have mercy. Okay.
Right.
So,
right. Give yourself grace.
Yes.
Of course. We're onions. We're all onions. And, you know, every layer of the onion is going to get peeled when it's supposed to, when we are ready to shed something, release something, heal something. There will be another layer always. Yeah. And so, you know, just we have to give ourselves grace.
Yeah, yeah. And I, you know, tell a lot of my clients this all the time. You can never F up what's meant for you.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Like, and you can't, it's like, oh my God, if I don't do this, I'm going to delay it or I'm not going to be able to have that. No, please don't think that way. Okay, because that is you putting your own blocks in the way that weren't even there. Yeah,
right.
You can never ever mess up what's meant for you. You can't.
That's right. Yep, that's true. That's true. We can actually, create resistance and blocks, and then wait longer for what it is that we want by doing that, by thinking that something is being prevented and you know, if I do this wrong, then I'm not going to get what I want. No, ultimately we get where we're supposed to get. Absolutely. But we can manifest things quicker if we just kind of go with the flow and follow what our intuition and what Spirit wants us to do. You know, follow those divine guidance that we receive if we just reflect and be quiet and we listen.
Yeah, yeah. And I have an example of this for myself with cannabis, which is actually a sacred herb to the Vanir, to Freya, to, the Vanir faction of gods in Norse mythology. And for the longest time, now I'm not gonna lie at all, I was addicted to it, okay? It was every day, all day usage back in the day, right? So of course I needed to quit for a while, you know, and I needed to have respect again for the plant and use it in the proper manner, right? As long as you use things from a place of not codependency, then it's all right, right? But so for the longest time though, I was struggling with it, right? I would pick it up again and I would give myself crap. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm putting off all my stuff. I'm just an addict. And I would tell myself all these things that are not true.
Right.
It's not true.
Right.
I'm not in that space anymore. And if I keep taking on that identity, I'm going to manifest it. Right. But I also, what I found is if I keep myself pushing away from it, the resistance was making it worse.
Right.
Right? So I just, again, had to go with the flow. There was a point where using it was lowering my vibration because I was using it from a place of codependency.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
then,
Right. It's all about intention.
right.
It's all about intention.
Yes. But then when I took the restriction away, like, you can't have this because it's going to block said manifestations, and just allow myself to connect with the energy of that plant spirit when it calls to me. Whew, freedom.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
We always want what we can't have.
Yeah.
So
And that was
if
it.
we're allowed to have it, if we tell ourselves it's okay
Yeah.
to have it, even if it's a smidgen of whatever it is. Let's say the addiction
Exactly.
is sugar, or the addiction is, in your
Whatever
case,
it
it's
is,
the
yeah.
cannabis or whatever. Then it's going to be even more tempting to go, take it to another level, exaggerate the experience, and then it becomes something toxic.
Yeah.
But, if we indulge a little bit of what it is we want, and this is for whatever, I think that, the intention is different, therefore the results will be different too.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was the game that I was playing with myself. It was either or.
Right.
Yeah. And I was putting that block in the way of myself, from being able to use it and have that beautiful experience in that way. Yeah. We're not saying like you can go out and, if you had struggled with alcohol or something like that. No, don't be going out and having a drink. That's a very different monster. Okay. And we're not saying either like you can go use heroin in moderation. Like, no. None of that stuff. That's not what we're talking about. No. But yeah, like I found that too, like it was a good example with the sugar, right? Because I know like a lot of women, when you're dieting, you want to cut things off.
Right.
And it just makes you want it more.
Right.
Yeah. And you can't. You can't. Sugar was a big thing for me 2 years ago. Yeah. Used to drink a lot of pop, soda, whatever you guys call it. Yeah. A lot of it. Ooh, yeah.
It's very addictive in nature.
Yes.
Sugar is very addictive in nature, and alcohol is very addictive in nature.
All
and
those
it's
things.
Because of what the purpose and the intention behind taking it in the first place. Like when people drink alcohol to the point where they're getting drunk, let's say, it's an escape.
Yeah.
It's they don't want to be here. There's something missing. There's something that they're avoiding that creates that need to have that buffer, I guess is a good way to put it. And so then it becomes an addiction, because you always want to have that numb feeling of not dealing with whatever it is you're trying to run away from.
Right.
So it's about intention. Like we're not talking about drugs. We're not talking about, things like alcohol, drugs, that kind of thing. It's a very dangerous line to walk on.
Yes, that's why I wanted to make that very clear. Very clear. That's
not right. No, I'm not saying, everyone should just go and have some cannabis. It's okay. No, I'm not saying that either. I'm saying that it's about intention. Everything that we can abuse anything, even the healthy stuff. There is abuse. There can be abuse to it. We can eat too much of something, even though it's good for you, but if you eat it too much, it becomes toxic for you. So that's anything.
There's an addictive potential to everything.
Yes.
There's, most people right now, whether they want to admit it or not, are addicted to social media. And that's a terrible one, because that one, it's just gotten so toxic.
Yeah.
Like it really, really has. Like in a really big way, because people have no consequences. So they just say the most terrible things. Like a huge example of this, and I'm not crapping on you in your country, so don't take it that way, honey, please. But we had the TikTok ban, right? And just for those like brief amount of time, it was kind of nice on that app. There was nobody tearing anybody down. There was all this positive comments. We were seeing people from all over the world. It was like, what's going on? So there's a very select group of people who we know only attack because they hate themselves. Right? That's why. That's the only reason why you have a said hater is because they hate themselves and they're just projecting that onto you. But yeah, it was like, wow, what is going on? What is going on over there? That, you know, people are so unhappy. Like, that's the takeaway, right?
Yeah.
What is going on? And like, I'm just going to use this as an example. This one girl, she's so cute, and I felt so bad for her. Little Canadian girl. So the TikTok ban happened, and she just made a joke. She was just being funny. She's like, I'm going to audition to be the next Charlie D'Amelio, who I don't even know who the frig that is, and I probably even said the name wrong, but probably an influencer of some type. But she's just, you know, was being cute about it, and she did a little dance. And then the ban was over. Like, this girl got literal death threats from people. People threatening her life.
Oh, goodness.
Like, what is wrong? What is happening? Like, this is the... It's like, are you okay? Like, this is what's happening. Like...
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's a lot of volatility.
Oh, yeah, it's frightening.
In this world, and I don't understand why people just can't be free to say, and, you know, it's not hurting you. Leave it alone. Let people be who they want to be. Say what they want to say. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, and why? Like... I understand. It's because people are projecting their own unhappiness. But that's what it is. People are just, you know, scrolling and they see someone who is enjoying their life or doing something good.
You got to tear them down.
Yeah, and that immediately triggers in them because they're not doing that.
Right.
Whether they're conscious of that being the reason or not, that is the reason. You know, so just automatic tear down.
Yeah.
You know, and sorry to betray my gender, but women, we are the worst friggin' offenders for that.
Yeah. And tearing down each other.
Women. Yeah. Other women. On their appearances. Mostly. Body shaming. I see that a lot. Come on. Ladies.
Yes, it's shameful. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't understand why it happens. I mean, we're all women and we're all going through the same things and we're all, you know, having to prove to the world our worth. And it's been like that since the beginning of time.
Yes.
And why in the world, instead of lifting each other up, we're tearing each other down.
Well, we've been conditioned to do so. We've been conditioned to be in a mean girl environment. Right? Yeah. And we have to change the narrative around that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And do better with that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because like, just a brief example. I think it really sucks when there's, you know, someone who is really happy and really passionate about what they're doing. And, you know, maybe they're attractive. Maybe they're in a good relationship, whatever it is. And they put that out there. And it's automatic hate and automatic attack.
Right.
Like, what did she do to you? Just because she's pretty, you hate her?
Right.
What is that? What is that? You know, like, what triggers those insecurities? It's so silly.
It's true. It's true. That's why my motto is live and let live. Like, you know, everyone's entitled to be happy and they should do what brings them joy. And it doesn't really matter what anyone else's opinion is. But when you're on social media, it's like you're giving people license to say what they want to and judge you. When you do that, it's unfortunate. But that's why, for me, social media, I limit the amount of social media I even expose myself to, the amount of information that I put out there for people. Everything for me is is private, because there's too much judgment out there. There's too many opinions and too much evil eye, negative energy, and I really don't want that. And I'm not inviting that into my space.
Yeah.
So,
well, that was the
less on social media I am, the better I feel, honestly.
Yeah. Well, that was the point I was trying to make too. Like during the ban, right? There was not all these like rage baiting videos. The ads were cut in half. We didn't see them. There wasn't all this political garbage, right? Because it's completely pushed all the time. Like all of that way overstimulating, in your face, rage baiting negative content was gone for like 12 hours.
Right.
I was like, whew. What is this? This is nice.
Wait, I'm having a pleasant experience.
Yeah, I'm connecting with people.
What is this beautiful stuff?
Exactly. Like I'm seeing people from all over the world, and they're not being hateful. They're being nice,
Right.
And it's just like the push on all the overstimulating stuff. It's like, why does that have to be there? Right. And that's not like, it's not your fault. That's what gets pushed when, when America is involved in the group, in the group chat, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the people that choose to be on social media in this country, unfortunately, a lot of it is like that.
Well, it's not just that. It's what gets pushed from the actual app.
Yes.
That's what we learned too. A lot of American content is really pushed in the app, right? So when it was gone, that's when we started to see everybody else. And we were like, oh, hey, we forgot y'all existed. Yo. But like it gets pushed to you guys too. All the overstimulating and rage stuff. Like it's just, it's not fair. It's all about, it's division and keeping people angry and keeping people overstimulated.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's dangerous.
It's true.
Yeah. And then you're in a constant state of fight or flight all the time with your nervous system. That's not healthy.
Yes.
Cortisols go through the roof. I don't know if you know this, guys, but some of the symptoms of having high cortisol is losing a lot of hair. Extra, women, we lose a lot of hair
extra
as it is
weight.
in the
Extra
shower. Oh, yeah.
You.
Holding it at the belly, especially.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to lose that belly fat with high cortisol.
Right. Just not being able to relax. Always feeling like you're not out of breath, but you always feel like you need to be doing something.
You're in fight or flight.
Yeah.
That's
always,
what it is.
Always.
Yeah. So your body just can't slow down. So that's why it's really super important for people to be taking time for grounding and to be aware that that's an issue.
Right.
And when we have enough stuff going on in our lives as it is, prices on the rise, we all have bills, we all have stuff, we all have our own, stresses, whatever's happening. So pile that on to all the stuff we're overstimulating ourselves with. Yeah. It's too much.
It's true. Yeah.
It's too much. And like the drama, like not only just social media, like TV too. Like I was telling Mel this morning, I'm not going to talk about it very much, but I've been watching Yellowstone, and I want to write a strongly worded letter to Kevin Costner about the last season. If anybody has seen it, you will understand what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, I'm not going to ruin anything for you. But, it's a great show. And you go along through the first 4 seasons. Great. Shit happens. And it's dramatic because it's a show. And, some things are sad. But the last season is like a jam-packed, you don't have a moment to breathe. I just stopped crying about this. What the frig is happening now? Yeah. Very strongly worded letter to Kevin Costner. Great show, though. But, yeah, very overstimulating and dramatic and, pulling up all the emotions. So, and we do that. because we have all this access to this instant media all the time.
Right. Yep.
Definitely something we have to be aware of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I think sometimes we're very cognizant of like not being involved in drama online sometimes. Like we'll put our phone down, but then we'll put the TV on, like I was just talking about, and binge a show. Or like get caught up or pulled into dramas of other people.
Right.
You know?
We need that stimulation, that constant stimulation, because that's what we're so used to at this point.
Yeah, that's the addiction, right? For some people. But yeah, we have to like be aware of that. And we talked about too that Indian proverb of when something good's going to happen, something bad will come and try to, mess it up. So, be aware of people coming in and trying to pull you into their drama or trying to push you or test you. I know I've had some that happening recently in my own life. People have been pushing some buttons of mine. I know Mel's had that going on too with certain things.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we're all getting kind of pushed a little bit, and spirits, I think, trying to tell us to like don't sweat the small stuff.
Right.
And they're pulling my eyes outside right now to a squirrel. So changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Changes and fun. Squirrels are about having fun and not taking life so seriously.
Being wistful, right?
Yeah.
And they're not so worried about stuff because if like squirrels, they don't find like 90-something% of what they hide. And that's how most of like vegetation and stuff repopulates, right? Because they plant nuts and seeds and stuff. And yeah, so it's just that like wistful, playful, not worrying too much. And I feel like also starting to ease off the worries. Like we were talking earlier about, everybody's going through stuff, prices going up, all of that, but like we were saying, squirrels don't worry about it. They don't find most of the stuff that they hide. Right. And they don't worry about it. Just trust it's gonna be okay. Right. So I think there's gonna be some easing off of that. Like I'm seeing Ganesh in my head right now with his arms. So yeah, synchronicity for anyone listening. You could be seeing elephants, on TV. Yes. If you're blessed enough to live where you might happen to see one in nature, maybe that'll happen.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Really,
yeah, I love elephants.
I love them. They're so intelligent.
Yeah, and they're so gentle. I love elephants.
Yes. But I feel like animal message is really significant right now because like earlier we were talking about the anglerfish, right? And like, again, her biggest message is like, even in the darkest shadows, you still make your own light. And resilience too. She's and then we have the squirrel, the elephant.
Paying attention to the dreams are very important at this time too. With all the Pisces energy, you're going to get a lot of messages through your dreams, whether it's daydreams or nighttime dreaming. It's very important. It's great time to have like a dream journal and write down what you can remember because there's something in there, maybe not today, but something. If you can recall something about your dream, anything, write it down.
You could notice a pattern too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Start to notice patterns. Yeah. Figure things out.
That's true.
Yeah. A very, very mermaidy energy right now. Lots of water. So much Pisces. Yeah. So that, with the squirrel too, with the wistful, but being like dreamy and romantic and kind of light, instead of being so held down. And like I just feel that like way down, like hands on your shoulders pushing down on you. I feel like that heavy energy has been happening like since Halloween almost. It's just been getting progressively worse, right? As we've been being pushed through a lot of these things. But now the squirrel is like jumping through branches, and like little tiny branches, and they don't care.
Yeah.
They're not worried about falling.
That's true.
So that's, that's the message coming through with that right now too. Just also being playful too. Find things that, are going to let you connect with that inner child.
Yeah, anything that brings you joy. That's what you have to do more of. Absolutely.
Yeah. We were talking about at the beginning, paying attention to where you put your energy, where you spend your energy, who you spend your time with.
Yep.
That's important of, what you spend your time with also in your free time. We were talking about, the social media, the TV, all that stuff. And none of that's bad. Of course not. You can learn so much. Like TikTok is such a vast, it can go both ways. It can be in some ways, it can be such a cesspool of awfulness, and bullying and overstimulation. But in other ways, it can be like on the other side of it, it can be a beautiful space of creativity and sharing and love and beautiful information. So you just have to, watch what you're consuming.
Right.
Again, too, like I was talking about the show, right? I love it. And I was binging it because I love it and I want to see what happens. But it gets so dramatic and emotional and you're in it,
Right.
And you have to have those moments where you're like, okay, and you just step away.
Right.
Even though I like, and especially my personality is like, I need to know what happens right now. Yeah. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a hard time with patience. But that's another thing that I read, too, that this Mars retrograde has been teaching us. It's putting us through all these things to teach us kind of patience and resilience.
Yes, that's my daily lesson is patience anyway.
Oh.
I have to deal with a lot of energies in my home. So patience is a virtue, and it's something I have to consciously work on every day of my life. Yes.
Yeah. And what we've been talking about with all the media sources, it becomes hard because it has now become such an instant gratification society. Right? If you want something, you go on Amazon and it's at your door the next day.
Right.
Then if you want information, you go online and there it is. If you want food, you go on this app and you click the thing and it's at your door in 30 minutes. Like everything is like instant gratification.
Yeah.
So it's hard now to have patience. And I really noticed this in the lines at the grocery store or something. If people have to wait for more than one or two people in front of them, they are downright irate.
Yeah.
It's this is the way it used to be, man. Before there was all these self-checkouts and everything else that are taking people's jobs. Come on. It's just probably going to be a difference of 2 minutes. And you're really wasting all of this energy, that the people huff loud enough so everyone else around them can hear them.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Their irritation, they want people to hear how irritated they are and how annoyed they are.
But they don't like it.
Change anything.
They don't like it when you react to it.
Right.
They want you to hear it, but they don't want you to turn around and be like, come on.
Right, exactly. Call them on it. Yeah, it's true.
And I do.
Yeah. I'm sure. I just ignore. I ignore everything. Just I don't even care.
You know me. I can't.
I know.
I can't. Oh, yeah. That's part of my shadow and I accept it. But I can't. It's just if I see someone being a dick to someone else, I can't not say something.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah.
In that respect, I will always defend those that need the defense.
Oh, yeah. I have a huge mouth, and anyone who knows me knows this.
Right.
Huge.
Me too. I do as well. If I see an injustice, I'm going to call you on it. And I'm going to say something, especially if it's to defend somebody else that can't do it for themselves. Absolutely.
Or an animal, something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. But, things like if people sighing or whatever, I just tune it out. Because I know my mouth can be rather harsh.
Yes.
So I rather just not engage.
My face also can do a lot of talking without opening my mouth. So sometimes with the, that I'll just turn around and give them the look.
Right.
And it automatically, like, they feel scolded and shot down.
Sometimes the look is enough.
Yeah. I'm very blessed with an expressive face like that.
Yeah, me too. You can read it on my face. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I can't help it. Yeah. That my big mouth is definitely one of my shadows. And also one of my shadows, and I accept all of those things about myself. I don't hide from them anymore.
Right.
I do believe that if I'm angry enough, I can probably knock out anyone on the planet. Like, I can fight anyone and probably win. And this is my shadow, because that is probably not logical. Although it might be if I had enough adrenaline running through my body. And I'm Canadian and I do have a big mouth. So I have had to use my fists a lot. So I am kind of skilled in that department. But yeah, that's not some of my shinier moments, but yeah, we all have shadow stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you can't even admit that you've even made a spelling mistake in your life, then there's a problem with that.
Most definitely, sure. For sure.
And that's a big red flag too, people. If other people can't take responsibility for their shit, basically.
Right.
You know, that's being a mature adult. Yeah. Might be time to vibrate them out of the circle.
Definitely. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's hard though. Like, it's hard. I've noticed, like, with like family relationships, it's difficult when you have more emotional maturity than people who are supposed to be more mature than you, and they are more mature than you in age. Oh yeah, age doesn't matter. No.
In maturity level. Absolutely not. I mean, sometimes the older people are less mature than the younger people are. So no, it has nothing to do with it.
No. And right now, there's like so many, like, there are people, granted, who are doing the work, and bravo to you if you are. But there are a lot of adults walking around that are really just children throwing tantrums in adult bodies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I live with one. So yes, I understand. Yes, I live with one. I live with a 26-year-old old soul, and I live with an 82-year-old baby. So yes, I understand completely what you're saying. Yeah. But like, it's crazy. It's crazy when you out emotionally mature your parents. Yeah. It's kind of hard to have a relationship with them after that. Yeah. It's very difficult. It is. It's a work in progress, and you have to really make a conscious effort to accept that old dogs can't be taught new tricks, basically. Yeah. You know, you just kind of have to accept them for how they are and who they are, the way you hope that they would for you, but knowing what you know, when you do the inner work, you know that not everybody will be able to do that. Yeah. They're just not capable of it, or they're not at the time they're not capable of it. So you kind of just have to be the bigger person and just accept people for where they're at.
Yeah, leave them where they are.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And sometimes leaving them where they are means actually like leaving them where they are.
Sometimes
and you have to cut that relationship off. You know, if it's toxic to your soul, you know,
peace of mind,
or your mental health and your peace of mind, then it has to be cut off. And sometimes it's very, very difficult, if it's a parent or a sister or a brother, someone very close. It's a traumatic experience. But through my trauma work and what I teach my clients, with their trauma work, it's often more traumatizing to try to go back to the source and have them take responsibility for it and be like, you hurt me in this way. Because if they're not in a place where they have any self-awareness and they're not going to take responsibility for themselves, they're just going to deflect. And it's often even more traumatizing because there'll be more gaslighting that happens. Oh, that didn't happen. That one. Right. You're remembering that wrong. You're too dramatic. It wasn't that bad. All those things, trying to change narratives. So it's
rewrite history.
Yeah. You're not going to get that apology. So, and that's really hard. To just drop that because it's not going to come.
Right.
Very, 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 very rarely.
That's true.
Yeah, and we got to be okay with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Have the acceptance within ourselves and the self-love within ourselves.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
It is.
But yeah, that's a theme. Definitely a theme for what's happening right now. Looking at those relationships and, what's beneficial, what's nurturing to your soul.
Right.
And what's poison to your soul. There was something I saw the other day and it was like, wow, okay. So lady gets bit by a rattlesnake, right? Do you chase the rattlesnake to go and find out, why did you bite me? And explain to it why you didn't deserve to be poisoned? Does that make any sense? No.
Right.
So if we apply that logic to it.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not going to go back to the snake who bit me.
Right.
No.
Sometimes you just have to accept the experience is the experience.
Yeah, because they'll bite me again.
That's it. Move on.
Yeah, because that's a lesson. If you go back to that snake, it's going to bite you again.
Right. A snake's always going to be a snake.
Yeah, it's not going to apologize for its actions.
That's true.
Wow. Yeah, but that made a light bulb go off for me. Oh.
Yeah, things that make you go, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and then another one I saw too, I shared it on my social media. If you're not following my social media, guys, I will link it below in the description box. I put a lot of visuals there to go with the last couple videos on the deities and stuff if you wanted to check that out. But now I just forgot where I was going with that, what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Okay. But the video I put on, sorry, ADHD, I put on my social media was a lady talking about forgiveness, right? And the way that she said it, she was like, the way that I think about it is what you did to me is so awful that I can't carry it anymore. And that's it. I don't want to carry it anymore. I'm putting it down like a suitcase.
Right. You're letting it go and moving on.
So it doesn't have to be, oh, I forgive you and hug someone and let them back into your life and all holy and churchy and... No. It's I accept what you did. I see you for who you are. Thank you for that. Thank you for showing me.
Right.
And I'm going to put this suitcase with your name on it down on the floor.
That's right.
It's interesting. You guys can't see her right now, my beautiful Mel, but she has all the planets on her shirt.
I do,
yeah. So, yeah, I think that's very, very interesting because we're kind of talking about it and, yeah, we're being very, very affected by all the transits that are happening right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Lots going on.
Yeah.
And more to come. That's
guys,
for sure.
Even if you don't know a whole lot about astrology, it's okay. You don't have to know everything at once. Don't feel overwhelmed. But it is really good and it's helpful to know your birth chart. And there's a lot of places online that you can get that for free. So just type into your Google or to whatever, free birth chart.
Mm-hmm.
All
there's a lot of links. There's a lot of websites that do it for free. They'll calculate your birth chart. All you need is your name, your birthday, your where were you born, if you know it, the time that you were born, and you can just get a whole list of planets and where they lie in your chart, and you'll get a lot of insight into yourself.
Yeah. And if you don't know the exact time, that's fine. That's okay. Yeah. Don't stress about that.
No.
Yeah. But it's, even if you just know, like, your top 4, like your sun sign, which is your birth sign, right? And then your moon sign. Mm-hmm. I think, like, your rising.
Mercury, Venus, and Mars.
Your rising, I think, is important.
And your rising. Yeah. Those are the personal planets. Those are the ones that tend to change the quickest, the most frequently. So those are the ones that affect you the most.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But even just like if you don't know a whole lot about astrology, even just starting with like just your sun sign and your moon sign. To, because people will go and look up, whatever their birth sign is, and they'll have a lot of those attributes, and that's great. Mm-hmm. But then when you expand it a little bit and you look up your moon sign, you're like, oh, okay. And then you just have a little bit more of an understanding of yourself, Mm-hmm. And for certain little quirky things sometimes maybe that you do or how you think or so. And it's nice to know that, oh, okay, well, this is part of being, like myself, the Gemini moon or, whatever it is. So, it's interesting. It's interesting to know. And then the more that you look into it. But again, don't get overwhelmed. So we have to say bye-bye to Mel because she has to go because we had so many delays getting started today. But that is all right. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to talk to you guys for a little bit more. But we're going to thank Mel so much for being here. Thanks, Mel.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.
Yes, she definitely will.
Bye.
Bye, Mel. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
All right. So, we have a lot going on with all of the astrology that's happening, with the way that the universe is kind of pushing us right now to wrap up these things. We're kind of being pushed again, like I said, back into these layers of things that maybe we kind of didn't want to deal with. It does feel like, wow, okay, I just got through that. I'm taking a breath and something else, right? But I'm seeing like the light at the end of the tunnel at this point. Like we're so close to getting to that next part. Mel was talking about feeling like preparation for battle. And that's kind of how it feels, the light workers, the star seeds, the people doing the work, the people who are aware, the people who are expanding their consciousness. There's more and more and more of us coming out of the shadows and coming together. And it really is raising the vibration of this planet. And even though some things look dark in a lot of spaces right now, okay, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in a lot of countries. And I'm sending love out to everyone, as always. But I do promise you, the scales are balancing. I'm seeing the scales in my head right now, okay? Spirit is balancing the scales. Patience and resilience is what we're learning here. Don't sweat the small stuff, okay? If something's coming up for you, have a look at it. Instead of just, I don't want to deal with this, right? Because often, if you do just kind of acknowledge it, then it goes away. Then it dissipates. The card I'm looking at right now on my table is imagine all the unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. Okay? So try to let your worries go for the moment. Find some moments to ground. Get outside if you can. I know it's really cold in some places, and there's a heck of a lot of snow in some places. I measured my snowbanks just for kicks, and they are, shit you not, 8 feet high. A little over 8 feet high. Crazy, right? Yeah, I took a measuring tape out there the other day because I couldn't believe it. We have had so much snow. It's been crazy. My son had to come over the other day and shovel off my roof because I had like at least 6 feet of snow sitting on my roof. It's nuts. It's been crazy. It has been a very crazy winter here. But that's Canada. Sometimes you get a little and sometimes you get a lot. So again, if you can, get outside, get some grounding, okay? Make sure you're taking some moments for yourself to step away from things if you need to, okay? Even entertainment sources. Be aware of the energies that they're bringing to you. And if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, you know, if there's a particular deity that you're interested in, or a particular plant medicine that you want to know more about, or, you know, anything pertaining to magic or anything, you know, anything that we talk about on this channel, all things magical, anything crossing your mind, please email me and I'll include it in an episode. All right. And again, my email will be listed below. If you guys would like to book a personal service with me, a personal reading or healing service, you can contact me also by email, which will be listed below. All my prices and services that I offer are listed on my social media platforms, pinned on my TikTok or in my Instagram highlights. Those are the ones that I'm active the most on. So that is it for this week. Guys, I'm wishing you a beautiful, beautiful week. I hope you have a magical one. So stay blessed, stay calm, stay grounded. As within, so without. You make your own magic. Remember? Try to get something fun in. Laugh. Connect with your inner little. I am sending you all so much love. Stay magical, my friends. Bye.